Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're as excited as I am to be here this afternoon. I want to first of all welcome all of you. It's so fantastic to see many representatives from the public and the private sector here, our elected officials, of course, from around the region, as well as members of the Carnegie Mellon University community, and of course, the Hazelwood community. I want to especially welcome my friend, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Governor, welcome. Welcome back. I'll have an honor of introducing the governor in a moment, but I do want to thank you for your inspiring leadership of the Commonwealth and for your steadfast commitment to the citizens of Pennsylvania. Thank you, Governor. Thank you for being here. Also, special welcome to my buddy, Secretary Rick Seiger. Rick, where are you sitting? Right there, Rick. Well, as you can imagine, Rick was at Carnegie Mellon when we initially envisioned the Robotics Innovation Center, also known as RIC, here at CMU. I'll get to that. I know what you're thinking. I'm going to get to that. But Rick reminded me this morning that, in fact, this facility was 8 pages of PowerPoint slides at the time when we envisioned it and he was here. The rumors that Rick Seiger named this building after himself are not true. Happy to have you back, Rick. I also want to special thanks to several foundations. Hazelwood Green would not be possible without, of course, the Richard King Mellon Foundation, the Heinz Endowment, and the Benedum Foundation. We're deeply grateful for all of your support. But as my board chair, David Coulter, mentioned, RKM Foundation, our Richard King Mellon Foundation, has been leading the vision for this facility. And it's been a positive and thoughtful partner in all of this. The foundation's transformative gifts to Carnegie Mellon, both for the RKM Hall of Sciences at the corner of Craig and Forbes, as well as the RIC, this building we're in, it really is a testament to their commitment to our community and an evidence of their passion for Pittsburgh's future. Sam Ryman could not be here because of a family commitment. He sends his regards, and I have to tell you that I am deeply grateful to Sam for being such an amazing partner. Can we hear it for Sam, although he's not here in person? Thank you. I do want to especially thank a couple of elected officials that are here. Of course, Mayor, we're delighted to have you here and others. But our county executive, Sarah Inamorado, county's support for projects like this and for Hazelwood Green is so important. And also your vision for Mon Valley is very compelling. We're happy you're here. And thank you for your service to our community. Thank you for everything you do. And as my faculty colleagues here would remind me, the research we do at CMU and support for education for our region that really catalyzes economic development, economic growth, is powered to a large extent by strong federal support and partnership with the federal government. And this is why we're so fortunate to have an extraordinary champion for Pennsylvania, for Pittsburgh, for our universities, CMU, Pitt, Duquesne, and all of them. And that's our Congresswoman, Summer Lee. Thank you for your commitment and passion. Thank you for being here. Of course, this would not be possible without the support of public and private sector coming together to bring this former side of steel industry, as you heard the story, back to life as a driver of innovation and industry, and as a driver of Pittsburgh's continued renaissance, as the mayor alluded to. In fact, if you just look outside, you see transformation in real time. There's Mill 19, there's the Pitt Bioforge, there's the Steelers community field, and there's a residential community that's being built, and more to come. And again, this is transformation in real time. I do want to acknowledge, we have, as you heard from our board chair, we actually have our board meeting here today at this site, and such a happy occasion to have my trustees, my board chair, and more than 30 of our board of trustees here with us. We had a successful campaign that just ended. We had a goal of $2 billion and we raised $2.5 billion. I'm grateful to our trustees for their commitment, for their passion, and for their support of our Make Possible campaign. It's been a roaring success, and their support of the university and their commitment to the university is truly appreciated. Furthermore, I do want to acknowledge my colleagues at Carnegie Mellon, our academic and administrative leadership, our faculty and staff, particularly those from College of Engineering and School of Computer Science. Thank you. This building here is largely because of you, because of your imagination, your expertise, your talent, your energy. This center exists because of our faculty and students and staff who envisioned this for our research and education in robotics. Thank you all again for being here. Thanks very much. I want to say a few words very briefly about what this building represents and how it represents the future. It's one thing to read it and look at it on paper, but it's very different when you're surrounded by people, ideas, technology, and possibilities. The Robotic Innovation Center, or RIC as it's come to be known, embodies Carnegie Mellon's leadership at the intersection of robotics, automation, AI, and society. In fact, this center marks the latest expansion of an ecosystem that began more than 40 years ago when we launched the first academic department devoted to robotics, led by our colleague Raj Reddy. Today, this facility is bringing the state-of-the-art infrastructure together with the ability to tap into the nation's and region's most comprehensive regional network of robotic testing sites. It demonstrates how a university can invest locally and meet national needs while enhancing our economic competitiveness and our national security. Let me take a moment just to highlight what's going on in this building and what will happen in this building. I think everybody recognizes, and of course the scale of opportunity. I think everybody recognizes that AI is probably one of the most transformative intellectual developments of our generation, our time. Physical AI, which happens in this building, is the fusion of AI and autonomous systems with the physical world. It's creating an inflection point for the integration of robotics and AI into every sector of our economy, from healthcare and life sciences to fields including entertainment, energy, education, agriculture, manufacturing, finance, household services, and beyond. In fact, later on today, please go downstairs while you're eating lunch, look at the spectrum of research and technology that our colleagues and now the private sector is working with us in this building. You'll be truly blown away. Current estimates are, I think it's underestimating that a physical AI is going to exceed $200 to $300 billion in just the next few years. And as we continue to lead in AI in this region, so will this region lead in physical AI and robotics for decades to come. This site, of course, builds as a locus for the best companies in the world. That was our vision for it, not just for research for us, but bringing companies as well as the government to come and work with us in this site. And that is our vision. And of course, with Field AI joining us, that vision is coming to reality. Shai and Basti, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to Carnegie Mellon and also to this region. And of course, it's going to create this opportunity, not only the configurable high bay downstairs, wet labs, drone and aquatics testing cages. I call them swimming pool. Marshall Bear says, no, don't call it a swimming pool. I understand. To motion capture, advanced fabrication, rapid prototyping. It's limitless in terms of the opportunities. But we're, of course, expecting more companies and also government to join us in this. But what excites me the most, and I think what excites our leadership the most about this space, is the serendipity that it's going to spark. Researchers crossing paths with entrepreneurs, students learning alongside with practitioners, ideas conceived of and brought to reality in indoor, outdoor, aquatics, and virtual environments. Because breakthroughs, folks, don't happen in isolation. They happen in communities of brilliant people, thinkers, dreamers, and doers, many of them in this room. And this building was designed to make this collision, so to speak, possible. A final point before I introduce the governor. As you heard, there is an amazing history to the Hazelwood community, to where we are, to this site. I'm not going to repeat all of that. But this site, there's a historical display that's at the entrance of the building. I encourage you to take a look at it, if not today, in the future. This site continues to play a role, of course, in the dynamic community of Hazelwood, we hope, and we will continue to celebrate this past while we look to the future, as our mayor articulated. From its long history of human settlement to hardworking roots as a national center of steelmaking, to its current rebirth as an innovation district. What's more is that, as all of you know, CMU is very committed to education and bringing essentially education to communities across Pittsburgh. And that continues, especially STEM education, that continues to be our ambition, that continues to be the work that we do. And we're delighted to be able to work with the Hazelwood community, as Sonia mentioned, to do a lot more for the community and work with the community. There are countless examples, including our partnership with Center of Life and the great work that Pastor Tim Smith is. Tim, are you here? You are here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you do for the community. Tim knows I'm a huge fan. And in fact, this summer, we're going to have our summer camp with Tim's kids here at this site, and we're planning to do that. Today is, of course, much more than just celebrating the opening of a building. We're celebrating the strength of many ongoing partnerships, including the public and the private sector, of course, our government partners with us. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your extraordinary work to support our community. And with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce Josh Shapiro, the 40th governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Governor Shapiro has been a passionate advocate for economic development, job creation, and making government more effective, more responsive to the needs of people in Pennsylvania. He's always recognized that Commonwealth's greatest resources are its people and their relentless pursuit of even a brighter future. Working closely with the governor's team over the last several years, I can tell you that his commitment to innovation, to economic growth, and to people is as inspiring as is unrelenting. He's determined to carry out a distinctive leadership for Pennsylvania, role for Pennsylvania, I should say, as the frontier for innovation and a beacon of opportunity for all. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Governor Shapiro.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate those words from my good friend Farnham Jahani, and you are blessed to have him leading Carnegie Mellon University. And we in the Commonwealth and across the country are blessed that he is not constrained by the walls of CMU. He understands the purpose and the power of what goes on at CMU, has the ability to affect the rest of the world. And he does that work every day, and he does it ably. Only Farnham could take a $2 billion fundraising campaign and raise $2.5 billion for that work. We appreciate your leadership. Thank you. And it is good to be back at Hazelwood Green to be able to open up this impressive new center. I want to just say a special thanks. I know elected leaders were acknowledged earlier. Two of my partners in progress who we work with every day, your great county executive, Sarah Innamorato, and your mayor, Corey O'Connor. We are partners in progress, particularly when it comes to economic development. They deserve a round of applause and much appreciation. Thank you. Look, you don't need me to tell you this, but I believe Carnegie Mellon University is the top research institution in this country and I would argue potentially in the world when it comes to robotics and artificial intelligence. It was on your campus back in 2023 when I signed an executive order establishing a research partnership between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and CMU to lay out a series of principles for responsible and ethical use of generative AI in state government. That partnership is working. And it's working because we are able to lean on the expertise here at CMU, an expertise with a long and proud history. CMU has always been there to lead on innovation, and doing so in an ethically and responsible way. Your students and your scientists are always pushing the boundaries, working to develop the latest, most advanced technology to improve lives and improve the world around us. And starting today, you have a wonderful new asset for those students in the private sector to be able to take advantage of as we look to commercialize the great R&D that is going on campus. The Robotics Innovation Center at CMU, the first academic robotics facility of its kind in the entire country, opens up here today. Here at the RIC, or as the Siger, that's what I like to call it, tech companies and startups will put their research and technology to the test. They're going to fine-tune these AI models that are going to power the next generation of robots. By the way, speaking of testing, I was able to test out a four-legged robot downstairs and managed not to break it, and it was an extraordinary experience. You heard from Shai a moment ago about the work that Field AI is doing to develop the software that will be used to program incredibly complex robots that can do dangerous and difficult tasks on our construction sites, at our power plants, on our farms, to complement, hear me on this, complement the great work that is already being done by our farmers, by our tradesmen and women, and all of the people who work on that site. But I want to take a moment to acknowledge that Field AI could have gone anywhere in this country. In fact, they're based right now, their headquarters right now, that's the operative word because we're going to get them here in Pittsburgh. Their headquarters is in California, and they literally could have chosen anywhere. But they chose to expand right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That shows, thank you, Sean. That shows how absolutely impressive this new facility is and the possibilities that exist here that we can attract those type of innovators to our community. Leading startups and tech companies, they want to partner with CMU. They want to be based here in Pittsburgh because of our resources, our expertise, the brain power that exists, and the commitment by the board, Mr. Coulter and others, to building CMU for generations to come to be able to provide those wonderful partnerships. Look, as governor of this great Commonwealth, I want to support that work and attract even more of it to Pittsburgh and all across Pennsylvania. We want more of these companies to locate here in the Steel City. Under the leadership of Secretary Rick Siger at the Department of Community and Economic Development, our administration has been working to make these types of investments across the Commonwealth in industries like agriculture, energy, manufacturing, life sciences, and of course, AI and robotics. That's why my administration is putting our full support behind this project, and we are backing that support up with real dollars. Today, I am proud to announce that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania will invest $1.5 million in bringing this RIC to life and doing wonderful work here. We are proud to make that investment. Specifically, those dollars will be used to support the physical AI accelerator that will connect the dots between the cutting-edge work that's done by CMU students and researchers with leading startups that want to take that technology out of the classroom and apply it in the real world. I want to take a moment and thank two lawmakers who are no stranger to you, but who are here today. Two lawmakers who voted yes on the budgets that I've proposed that make these dollars available. Please acknowledge, and I'll ask them to stand, Representative Dan Frankel and Senator Jay Costa. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. When you have leaders When you have leaders like Leader Costa and Representative Frankel walking the halls of power of Harrisburg, they make sure dollars come back to this community. And gentlemen, I'm grateful for your partnership. Thank you for your leadership. We will continue to work to make these investments because here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we are all in on innovation, and Pittsburgh in particular is being a center of that. Here we are poised for explosive growth in technology and innovation. And combined with the other investments we are making from downtown to other important industries, I think Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is on the rise. And this is such a big reason why. When we support innovators, good things happen. Look at Jake Lucerarian and his business partner, CMU alum Troy Demmer. They received $10,000 in seed grant money from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania a few years ago. Now their company, Gecko Robotics, is over $1 billion. Hundreds of people in this community work for this wonderful company, and they are changing the world every day. We need to inspire more innovation like that. That's why the RIC is so important. And that's why earlier this month in my budget address, I announced that we want to invest $100 million of state investment specifically for innovation, providing capital for startups, funding clinical trials and life sciences, and developing a workforce and education pipeline to make sure their discoveries can succeed and eventually be commercialized. We're all in because Pennsylvanians are innovators. We've known this since the first time Ben Franklin flew his kite, and we've got to believe in that potential, and we've got to continue to invest in it. That's why what happens here at Carnegie Mellon University is so darn important. And that's why it's critically important that Farnham and his team are not constrained by the walls of their beautiful campus, but instead they look outward to see what kind of impact they can have on the world and what kind of impact they can have here in Hazelwood Green. A wonderful community, Sonia, that deserves this type of investment. A community where it's been the center of activity and innovation for the last 150 years. Back then, innovation looked like a blast furnace and molten hot steel. Steel that would be used to forge the Empire State Building and protect our freedoms overseas. Today, that innovation, well, it looks like lines of code and robots that scale walls of power plants to make sure things are running smoothly, safely, and efficiently. But while that innovation may look different over the last century and a half, it all starts in the same place, right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are proud to support the RIC. We are proud to support Pennsylvania. I believe Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania are on the rise, and this is a big reason why. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.